morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me for AM yoga today. I'm going to just be focusing on our center of self, center of thought, focus on mental clarity. Good morning, everyone. So today is going to be, again, being at home in ourself, how to center and connect with ourselves to set the tone for the rest of our day so that we can be present to appreciate this amazingly beautiful morning, and again, whatever time of day you do practice this, it'll help you cultivate that appreciation for the beauty around you. So we are going to begin our yoga practice today in a seated posture, wherever you are most comfortable sitting. You might be up on some cushions or a yoga block or a bolster to help take pressure off your lumbar spine. But also make sure you have, if you'd like, a blanket for Shavasana later, any other additional kinds of props, blocks, cushions, pillows, chair, or a yoga strap, maybe even a robe tie or belt or dish towel. So we can make this work for us at home wherever we are. And we'll get started. So finding our center today so we can really be present to take in all of the wonderfulness that's here for us. All right, so I'm going to come on back. And just let yourself find your lovely, comfortable seat. And as you find your comfortable position, just begin to allow that spine to lengthen up regally. The spine, this lovely channel that connects you to your kind of spiritual and intuitive antenna up to the universe, connects us there, and it connects us down into the roots of the earth in the present moment. This spine, this conduit for energy to flow through us and even help keeping the flow of energy through every energy center or chakra in our body. The spine, this lovely channel. So as we begin our practice today, however you're choosing to sit, have some gratitude and appreciation for your spine. How it aligns, how is it aligned right now? Even if there's some kinks in the back in certain places, let's just have gratitude for whatever the spine is allowing to flow into us and out from us. And my palms are just relaxed, facing upward. If you like that gesture called Pushpaputa, meaning receiving blessings. Pushpaputa Sanskrit, it means handful of flowers. So receiving the blessings this day has to offer us. And then letting yourself, with eyes closed, see if it feels right to shift, rock, sway, or circle the spine, the torso. If that doesn't feel right to you, just sit tall in stillness. Nice deep breath. Deepening and drinking in that inhalation, letting it wash through, and exhale. You might sigh out your breath, just feeling whatever has been keeping you from finding center, just feeling it all lifting, going up and out. So now as you take your exhalation, see if you can connect with feeling the heaviness of your legs, heavy sacrum, heavy pelvis, heavy sits bones. Feel the heaviness of your shoulders and your arms. And relax your jaw. Let the tongue relax. Let the face feel soft and easy. And now really take a big, beautiful breath down into your belly space. Low belly is going to expand. Exhaling completely. sighing away the breath. As you continue to center, I'm going to share with you a yoga sutra or an ancient sutra from Sanskrit, one of the Radiance Sutras that was translated into English. It's beautiful, and it says, "The one who is at play everywhere says, there's a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here to your center if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating. Give yourself to it with total abandon, for quiet ecstasy is here, and a steady regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. Who you are is the embodiment of blessing, once you know the way. The nature of attention will always call you to return to your center. Again and again, answer that call and be saturated with knowing, I belong here, for I am at home. I belong here in my heart center with that song. I belong here. I am home. Take one or two more big breaths, sighing it out. Jaw opening, relaxing. Inhale, one more. Good. Now, make sure your legs are still comfortable. So if you feel like you need to adjust your legs, let that happen. You could even take them into any kind of relaxed forward resting position. Bent legs, maybe even out in front if you're tired of having them crossed or folded in towards you. We're going to work with just a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing again to bring and integrate that connection of the spine. So we're going to send energy up our spinal column from root to crown. Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing, can really help us not only with immune enhancement, allergy reduction, sinus clearing. It calms the central nervous system. It helps to quiet the mind and the thoughts. And it helps us to come home to our center. Helps reduce inflammation in the body as well. So we're just going to find our lovely, lovely comfortable seat. We're going to let ourselves take our right hand and we're going to touch our pointer finger and middle finger to the third eye center of the forehead. In the left hand, touch your thumb to your ring finger and let it rest. Left hand, thumb to ring finger, letting it rest. Close your right nostril with your thumb, the right thumb, and inhale through the left nostril. Once you reach the top of the inhalation, close the left nostril with your ring finger or pinky and exhale out the right nostril. Inhale up the right nostril. Close the right nostril. Exhale down the left nostril. Inhale up the left side. Closing the left, exhale down the right. Inhale up the right side. Close the right, exhale down and out the left. Inhale up the left side. Close the left side, exhaling down and out the right. And you can continue now at your own breath pace, inhaling up the right side. After each inhalation, you switch to exhale. So we exhale down the left side. We inhale up the left side. And after the inhalation, you switch to exhale. Continue at your own pace, switching for each exhalation. Try to elongate both the inhalation and exhalation. Inhaling up one side, then switch to exhale. Breathe and drink in the song of birds. Breathe and drink in the sunlight. Feel relaxed around your shoulders, your jaw, your tongue. Relaxed, heavy legs. Couple of last rounds, bringing ourselves home to the center and allowing the alignment of our energies to grow from our roots up our spine, out through the crown. As this breath helps to bring the root energy up to the crown. Now the next time that you exhale out your left nostril, we're going to pause and release the exercise. Closing your eyes, you can allow yourself to breathe naturally once you finish exhaling from that left side. When you find your cleansing, clearing breath, touch your fingertips of both hands together in Hakini gesture, Hakini mudra. Big breath in, noticing how your nostrils and your sinuses feel. Exhale completely, softening your jaw. Take just a moment to identify an intention for yourself, for your practice today, as we focus on being home in the center of ourself, in the center of our heart. So that means in some ways honoring our own needs, honoring our own business, what we need to attend to within ourselves to cultivate peace and happiness. So what is an intention or even a one-word kind of blip that you could form around this? It could be allow, it could be laugh, it could be peace, it could be a longer sentence. Today I enjoy every moment of this day. What do you need? Today I will return to my center over and over to be present. And once you have that intention, bring your hands to prayer. And your intention might change and grow and evolve through the practice, and that's okay too. Let it all happen how it will. Inhale your prayer hands up and stretch into that beautiful blue sky this morning. Exhale, let your arms just peel back, melt back, and just take a few more of those big breaths, So my legs are bent out in front of me. I'm inhaling to reach to the sky, exhaling to let my arms pour or melt down. Inhale, I'm going to reach myself now a little bit forward and then up. And then exhale, sighing and melting. Enjoy, if you like, that little reach forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, let the heart center open, enhancing our lung capacity, stretching out that rib cage and lungs. Reach into the light. Now, as we take just a few more breaths, when you exhale and let your arms melt, could you think of contracting your pelvic floor? And then inhale, you might release your pelvic floor or keep it held. As you exhale, we think though of contracting the pelvic floor. And again, that's like a Kegels exercise, but it's called Mula Bandha in yoga. And it's for grounding, it's for strengthening our torso as well as our abdominal core. Exhaling, we contract the pelvic floor. Just a couple more breaths where you keep the contraction the whole time, helping us ground into our center. Take one more breath here. Sighing the breath. Good. If you have the Mula Bandha engaged, relax. Inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, take a gentle twist to one side. Doesn't matter which way you start, just elongating the spine. Deep breath. Sigh out the breath. So remember, our twist really happens more from the mid to upper back. We don't want to crank into the lumbar spine. It wasn't really designed for that. So even if you're deepening your twist, let it deepen from, around the diaphragm up. Deep breath here. And feel the breath all around your low belly. Relax your jaw as you're detoxifying now. Soften the jaw. Feeling yourself untangling, untying yourself, untethering from any distractions, any problems, any stresses. Inhale, pass yourself back through center. Open your arms wide. Just let your heart open to this day. And now as you exhale, before we reverse the twist, take your hands to the backs of your thighs. My knees are bent and I'm rounding back, dropping my chin. As I inhale, not only do I lift my heart, I'm going to let my arms release from my legs and open up the heart to this day. Exhale, catching my hands either on the front of the shin bones or backs of the thighs, rounding and clearing out my center. Inhale. This is a beautiful day. Take all of that beauty in. As you exhale, catch the backs of your thighs or fronts of your shin bones. Make a big, beautiful exhalation. How can we let our center even emerge or rise to be right at the surface with our senses today? So sometimes I like to get curious about that in myself. How can I let my wants or my needs for what would cultivate my peace rise and be present right at my senses, my eyes, my nose, my ears, my mouth, my touch. Let it expand into your space, so now you're pulling your center into your present. And our center is our sense of our peace, our calm, our joy. One more breath with our cat-cow spinal integration. And now as you inhale, lengthen and grow regally. As you exhale, take your gentle twist to the opposite side now. So remembering as you take your twist, it's more of a diaphragm up kind of a twist. We're not cranking the lumbar spine around. Sitting tall, I have my backhand fingertips supporting me on the earth. My front arm are kind of holding around the outside of my thigh, my knee for a little bit of leverage. And now send the breath low and deep into the belly to help us detoxify Any muscular tension, emotional tension that we're holding in our muscle groups, in our digestive system even. Exhale, soften your jaw, your shoulders, your neck. How can I not only be in my center today, be home in my center, in myself, but how can I also let my center be present through all of my senses today? So I can see from my center, I can hear from my center, I can speak and taste from my center, I can feel and touch from my center, I can smell from my center. Next breath in, coming back to center. Inhale your arms broad, beautiful open heart, wingspan opening. Take a couple breaths right there. Try to soften your shoulders even though you're kind of pulling the arms back. Soften your jaw. Now we're opening up the space around the rib cage, the cage that's around our heart center. That can help us find some emotional availability for ourselves today. Inhale. Broaden, expand. As you exhale, right hand to the earth, left arm over the ear. I like to start with lateral and spinal movements, so we're really opening up our capacity in the heart center. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, lateral stretch, left palm to the earth, right arm over the ear. And just float it at your own timing. Inhale through center, exhale, melt tip. Legs can be doing whatever they want. Inhale, exhale. So, emotional availability unto ourselves is extremely important because without it, we cannot be emotionally available or compassionate to anybody else. So, emotional availability to ourselves means inhale here, exhale over. It means allowing ourselves to feel what we're feeling without a sense of disgust toward ourselves, without a sense of rejection toward ourselves. Inhale, heart center open, exhale. So can you invite in that emotional availability toward all that you're feeling and thinking and experiencing these last few days? So we're letting our center, our heart, fill in any of those gaps where we are lacking in compassion toward ourselves, lacking in curiosity toward ourselves. Inhale, center, exhale, tip. Couple more. Good. Now, the next time that you come over to your right side, we're going to let our right hand stay planted on the earth. Now, you can bring your feet, if you like, to a diamond shape. Or you could go easy pose Sukhasana. It may not be easy, that's what it translates to, the cross-legged position. And just kind of explore, and if you'd rather not do either the cross-legged or the diamond, do what's happy in your legs. We're just going to explore right here, moving your left arm and shoulder, your rib cage around. Ooh, move it in a way where you're finding the motion, get into the nooks and crannies around the side back muscles, the quadratus lumborum. Relax your jaw, getting into your lats, getting into your intercostals. Horsey lip that jaw when you find tension that you're just kind of letting melt out. Moving your arm, your shoulder, your body any way that feels right. Exploring lower toward the earth, over the ear, toward the ceiling. And then can you sweep yourself across the front a few times? So this could look like your fingertips walking across the front. It could also look like more of a sweep with the hands not touching the floor. So what's right in your body, in your back, in your hips, and all that good stuff. So you're going and exploring where it feels good around your hips, your knees, your glutes, your back, your shoulders. Anything that rises to the surface, tension that comes up into your jaw, your mouth, just kind of it out, you know, exhale it. Turkey tongue it out. Turkey tongue is one of my own personal pranayams. Good, and then bring yourself back to center. Before we take our lateral stretch the opposite way, Lean back to your fingertips, lift up your heart, like I like to call this a sunbathing asana. Anahata, the heart center, beaming forward, taking in the blue sky. I'm leaning back on my fingertips or hands. Your legs can be any way you want them. But inhale, fill both lobes of the lungs with your breath, and exhale, sigh it out. Soften your jaw again. Now as you exhale, can you contract your pelvic floor? Mula Bandha. Inhale through your nose. Maybe you leave your pelvic floor contracted, maybe not. Exhale, pelvic floor contraction. Can you breathe out the mouth with an HA sound? Inhale through the nose. Exhale, like the ocean. Inhale. One more fantastic breath here. Inhale, lengthening up. Legs however you like them. Again, crossed, diamond, out in front. As you exhale, sigh. Inhale, arms out to your sides. Exhale for me now, left palm to the earth, right arm over my ear. For my lateral exploration, you might be going the other way. So this is the opposite side now, and you're just going to move and guide that right arm around. Again, legs can be any way you want them to be. You might explore shifting their position. But let the sunlight, let the blue sky pour into the nooks and crannies where you have that tightness. Let the space come in. And then let your center rise to meet this experience. Like I can feel my center going into the tight areas around my back. It's coming and it's feeling. And it might be feeling my emotional stress, saying it's okay. Breathe into it. We're going to let it go. We're going to let it open. Horsey lip your jaw when you need. Any other way you need to explore this lateral stretch. Let it happen. Enjoy it. Sigh it out. And when you feel ready to do so, we're going to explore the frontal kind of sweep. So shifting or walking your hands side to side in front of you, or one arm just kind of reaching across the horizon and I'm going from palm to palm, alternating what's touching the earth. So what feels better in your back? Leaning way forward into this side to side sweep. How do you need your legs to be for this? You're honoring what they need. And then just knowing that when you are ready, realign yourself back at center. Interlace your hands behind your back when you do arrive at center. My hands are interlaced behind me. And maybe you can just gently pull down on the hands to feel the chest opening. Maybe you have a dishcloth or a little yoga strap back there that's helping you. Whatever you need, feel your chest open. If you have the range of motion, you might lift your arms up off your back a little bit and just feel the chest broaden. Deep breath again into both lobes of the lungs. Exhale completely. As you exhale, contract the pelvic floor. Mula Bandha. Inhale. Exhale, contract the pelvic floor, or leave it contracted as long as you can. Inhale. Why? Because it strengthens all of our deep core muscles in the abdominal center. It helps to alleviate back pain. One more breath. HA, exhalation out the mouth. Release your hands, soften, relax the pelvic floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale when you're ready and melt. So the energy flows down your center line, back into your roots. Sit regally tall and notice. Close your eyes, find stillness. Legs are however you want them. Big breath and sigh. So for many of us, we have been pulled by distraction in many different directions over these days, these weeks, these months. So today, and as often as we can, how can we let ourselves be present at our center? And how can we let our center be present at our surface, at our sensory level, so we can see the beauty, we can hear the beauty, smell the beauty, taste the beauty, express the beauty, take it all in and become part of it, not intermeshed with distraction or demands. Good. One last seated thing, I promise, and we'll go moving a little bit more after this. We're going to bring our hands and lightly touch our shoulders. So again, you check in with your legs. Sometimes I might even move them to a wider angle when I practice this next exercise. So if you like the wider angle, I like to sit up on the edge of a prop. So my sits bones, my butt bones are pointing straight down and I don't feel any rounding in my lumbar spine. You want to be able to really keep this long torso here, long back. Knees can be bent or straight in your wider angle if you're choosing to go there, but we want to make sure our knees are facing the ceiling or the sky. We're going to touch our fingertips to our shoulders and just begin with some shoulder circles, elbow circles. Could you meet the elbows together? Maybe, maybe not. You know, everybody's body proportions are different. Just to feel, again, this massage to the heart center, massage and opening of the thymus, the immune center in the heart and the chest here. Deep breath in and out, and just kind of wash yourself with the breath. And we're going to take this into a little Kundalini yoga detox exercise. And then 2 more breaths before we get there. Relax your jaw. Good. And now to do the Kundalini exercise, if you're able to keep touching your shoulders lightly, let that happen. If you need to do something else with your hands and arms, you can. But the exercise looks like this. We're just going to be inhale, slight twist one way, exhale the other way. But we inhale out the mouth, inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. We keep this very gentle at first because we don't want to pull or alarm anything around our back. But it's like a washing machine agitator where we're scrubbing whatever needs to be released, washed out, let go of. So bring that intention to this breath. I'm scrubbing away, creating space, letting go, re-energizing, helping myself digest, assimilate, eliminate. Inhale, center. Exhale, melt. When you find your center, what do your senses perceive? I hear the birds singing. I hear the clock ticking. What does your skin perceive? Gentle breathe or still air? What do you smell? How does the tongue feel in the mouth? Do you taste anything? And then very gently open your eyes. Take a big breath, and then wherever you're gazing, take in the beauty of whatever it is you're looking at. Even if it's a mess, you know, it's beautiful. Let it be beautiful. Let it allow it to be what it is. And we're going to take that exercise last time because we want to reverse which way we were exhaling. So for myself, I know I was exhaling to the right, and I'm going to try exhaling left. If you don't remember, you'll probably feel it once you get started, or just play with it, you know. So last time we touch our fingers, inhale. I'm going to exhale myself, left. Or if you feel like when you get there, oh, I already did that, so I go, exhale the other way. Inhale, exhale. Let it be light and unforced, this little twist. It's your washing machine agitator. And bring any power you need to behind that exhalation. Cleaning, clearing your center. Sometimes our center gets cluttered with distraction and being pulled in different ways. Swayed or buried under pressure, opinion. Let's clear it out. Go slower if you need. 3 more. Last one. And when you center yourself, bow, spill over. You'll feel that prana wash. It feels sometimes like a lightheaded tingliness. Bend and pour your head forward between the space of your legs. Wide legs, pour over. Huge breath in and sigh it out. Relax your jaw, head hanging. Another huge breath, fill up your kidneys, adrenals, low back, waist. Exhale it out. Again, big kidney breath, low belly, low back breath. We are working our center, clearing our center so we can be fully present and spacious, to be at home in our center today. One more big breath. And lengthen your lovely center back up. Close your eyes. If the inner glow starts to come up, and it often feels like this natural instinctive smile that allows for the corners of the mouth to turn up, let that asana happen. Find that little lift to the corners of the mouth. Beautiful. Now, if the legs are wide, bring everything back on in and just crank around your feet, your ankles for a minute. Massage the tops of your legs. Bring your senses back to this moment. So however, if you're massaging the tops of your legs, you might be pummeling where you have tightness. Let yourself just open your eyes, soften your gaze. Take in the beauty. Like outside my window, I can see the tree leaves, I can see blue sky. Let it come into you. I can see my house plant. Breathe it into wherever you're patting or massaging. If you are doing any kind of massage in the legs, send love and attentiveness to your body. Send gratitude to your body. Send allowance, acceptance to your body. So your call, if you're massaging, that's great for some subtle, gentle relief of toxins. It's great for getting the lymphatic fluid moving, so it helps us with bolstering the immune function. If you're pummeling, it all does the same thing too. Just sometimes we feel we gotta pummel some places, so honor that. And it's great to do alternating pummeling called a fast bilateral action. It helps your brain to fire in the neocortex, where we stay calm, grounded, and centered. That's our key word today, how to center at home in ourselves. Come up your midsection too if you are pummeling, and also spend a little time pummeling your heart center just for a moment. Bolstering immune function, decongesting your lungs. Couple breaths. Let your tongue go out and down. Take a lion's breath. So again, as we're bringing our senses to centeredness, clearing them out, whatever they've had to gather for us. Last 2 breaths, right on our heart center, we're pummeling. One more, everybody. And then inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, melt. As you melt, take your fingertips, hands behind you to sway back, sunbathing. Couple last breaths here. Breathing into both lobes of your lungs. Spine opening, heart opening, center opening. Elongate, neutral spine, circle your wrists. And then we're going to start to come onto our back in just a moment to open up our front and body that we've been kind of sitting on. We're going to let it all open. Shake out your hands. And we're going to shift ourselves down onto the floor. So take your time to get there. Have yourself a block or a cushion or blanket roll handy. And bring yourself down to the floor here. And let's just allow for some massage of your back. So we're going to either hug the knees in or bring them in towards you and just rock or circle, or feet on the earth planted and windshield wiper your knees side to side, whatever speaks to you. Doing beautiful work, bringing our center to the surface and also dwelling in the space of our center. So often, you might even just feel that out. Where do you feel yourself positioned most of the time throughout the day when you're in your thoughts and your emotions? I know a lot of times, just naturally, I'm up in my head space so much, and I'm not in my center with my guts and my heart. Sometimes, too, my thoughts feel like they're stuck in different parts of my back or my hips. So we're just going to let all this kind of realign today through our practice. Okay? So however you are massaging the back body with your own natural movement, we want to open up the chest and then the hip flexors. So we're going to start with the hip flexors. So I know I do this often in classes, but it's such a good posture to come into for healthy spinal alignment as well as relieving tension from around your iliopsoas. So we're going to take a block underneath our sacrum, and you might also slide under there a bolster, a blanket roll, could be just anything, a cushion to hold your hips. And once you find that little shelf and your glutes are resting right there, take a huge belly breath, and again, here's your center. You might put your hands on your belly and just feel this appreciation. So our spine is part of our center, our guts are part of our center, our heart is part of our center, both physically but also energetically as reservoirs of energy, as chakra centers. Breathe deep. As you breathe, again, with your senses, take in the beauty of what you hear or see or smell or taste or feel. Good, and when you're ready to open yourself up a little bit more, can you bring your arms up on either side of your head? And there's the heart blossoming open a little bit more. Could you extend out your right leg and just see how that feels? If it feels good to have your right leg extended, think about now, instead of feeling a sway back, think about curling your tail under just slightly. So I feel my abdominals engage, my belly button draws toward my spine, my glutes activate and fire, And then I'm going to flex my right foot so I feel the front of my right hip opening. So my glutes are active, good, my abs are active, and I'm flexing through my right heel, and I'm going to just reach and lengthen both arms up overhead with tension, and I'm going to feel even more opening in my iliopsoas, front right hip flexor. This can alleviate a lot of hip and low back pain. Just be here with it. You might even feel your right heel lift up off the floor a little bit if you're using that much tension and pull and opposition. And take 1 or 2 more breaths, but when you want to melt and just be, melt, and then let everything turn to goo. Taking a lot of pause through our practice today because we don't allow ourselves to take a lot of pause in our daily life. And where the pause is, that's where we find the breath, and that's where we can hold our own beautiful hand and walk ourselves back home to our center in the pause. Draw your right foot in, extend your left leg out. Okay, so once you feel that happen in your body, slightly curl and tuck your tailbone under, firing your glute, specifically your left glute. And as you fire through the left glute, flex your left foot, your heels flex, and feel the opening in the front of your left hip, hip flexor, iliopsoas. Breathe. Bring your arms up overhead. Now remember, my navel's drawing toward my spine. I'm squeezing my glutes. Arms are reaching actively overhead now as I flex my left foot powerfully, pulling in opposition between my arms, my hands, and my foot. Breathe. Feel the opening, big cleansing breaths, because you might be holding some shame there in the hips, some emotional stress or tension, some guilt, some pressures you put on yourself. We're just going to let those melt right out. I just had a nice release. Breathe. Deep breath. Stretching, stretching. When you know your body just wants to melt and rest, give all your muscles permission to do so. As you rest, see if your opposite leg wants to extend as well, or if you want to keep them both bent, or one more option, dropping the knees open to diamond, to Supta Baddha Konasana, recline bound angle, letting our hip flexors open that way, letting the groin open. Huge breath into both lobes of the lungs, exhaling completely. Here's your pause. In the space of a pause, we walk ourselves home to our center. We find our ability to breathe again and witness beauty, witness our lives, take it all in. We can find gratitude in our center. When you would like to bring the legs in, if they've been in that diamond shape, let them come in. We're going to take one more little detoxifying practice here. I'm going to hold on to my prop with my hands just for a feeling of stabilization, and I'm going to bring my knees up toward my chest, letting my feet come up off the floor. And you're going to play with how you want your legs to dance around in the sky or just be still. And so you want to wiggle on your support, however is most comfortable in your back. Also, if it's not comfortable to be supported with the prop, just be on the earth. That's perfect. And this helps take inflammation out of our low body joints, low body extremities. This helps detoxify the body, cleansing, clearing. Deep breath in, sighing it out. So you might also play with opening up your legs, stretching your hamstrings. You might play with crossing an ankle over a knee, making a triangle leg, dropping your legs towards you to open your hips. So what do you need here as you explore Yogi's Choice? As you ask your center, yourself, body, what would be helpful for your healing? Body, what would be helpful to help us all feel balanced and connected, mind, body, spirit? And just follow it. And it might be resting for you. It might be pause in Shavasana. So do what you need. Couple last breaths now, wherever you're working. There's a quietness in the center, a softness around the shoulders, the jaw, the tongue, the face. And then when you would like to release whatever your inversion has been here, let your feet come back to the earth when you're ready. Hands resting on your belly and your center. Could you allow yourself to not be in a hurry, to not have the urge to push yourself right now? When you feel ready to transition, we're going to lift up our hips from whatever we've been on and maybe just hold them there for a moment, unless that doesn't feel right. But if it feels good, just to activate and utilize the iliopsoas, hip flexors, and the glutes, letting that opening front body sensation happen. You can do that. I like to stay for a few breaths, but anytime you want to lower your hips back to earth, let it happen. This is also stabilizing our SI joints as we're in our little bridge pose. So we just kind of opened up our hips a minute ago. This is helping stabilize around the hips and the low back. And then melt it all down to the earth. Let your head weight rock side to side. So I'm just letting my head rock across the back of the skull. Closing the eyes. We're going to horsey lip out our jaw. Again, I'm letting my fingers or my palms rest gently on the belly. Just to connect us with the guts, the heart. What feels right to us in any given moment. What we know isn't right in any given moment. I often come across that throughout the day where I'll say, oh, you know, this is not right. This is not helpful for me right now. This thought, this stress is not helpful for me right now. This emotion, these words I'm telling myself, they're not helpful right now. So I'm going to step away from them. As you center your head, extend your legs out just a little bit, and we're going to take little karate chop right to the hip flexor. So I'm using my pinky edge of my hand and just chopping right into that iliopsoas front of the hip flexor. Breathe deep. Breathe. It should feel good, and you can even go like toward the top of the thigh a little bit. You want to follow a line that might be tense, and the action of this little pummeling or chopping should feel good in that part of your body as you're opening up. Oh, sigh out. Good. And now we're going to create traction in the lumbar spine. Again, this whole practice about creating space in our center. So mitten hands is my mudra. Thumb is coming and gripping near the inside part of my groin or thigh. My forefingers are wrapping to the outer part of my thigh, and I'm going to be right as high as I can in the top of my thigh crease. And I'm going to squeeze in and then think about lengthening and pulling my legs down as if I were elongating my femur and thigh bone out of the hip socket. And then when you do this, relax your low back. We are creating traction and space through the lumbar vertebrae now, as well as in the hips themselves. Breathe, keep squeezing. It should feel good. It should feel like there's an opening Sometimes I'll even do a little bit of a wiggle or movement of my pelvis just to see what this opening is providing me. Breathe. Big breath, sigh. One more big breath. Can you fill up the space between your shoulder blades as you inhale? And then exhale completely and let your hands go. Let your legs go any position they want. And we're going to create traction now for our cervical spine. So I'm going to take my hands. My fingers are wrapping to the base of my skull. I feel my palms around my bottom jaw. And I'm very, very lightly going to take my palms here. As I'm holding the bottom jaw lightly, I'm going to feel like I'm lengthening my neck out above me. So I'm lengthening, very, very gentle amount of tension or pressure. I'm just feeling myself lengthening toward the crown of my head. So really all this is it's a support around the bottom jaw, and my fingers are wrapping toward the occipital area or base of the skull. Lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Deep breath around the back of the heart center. Inhale, fill up the space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, sigh. One more. And then let it melt. As you let it melt, let your arms open, palms facing up. Practice the pause. Let a big breath flood into your nostrils and sigh. Circle your wrists. If that inner glow, the inner smile rises, let it find your lips. Bring your feet in. If your legs have been out in a Shavasana type position, take a little windshield wiper just so that the momentum of this now can carry you over eventually to rest on one side in the fetal position. Again, where we find our safe space. Oh, sigh out your breath. Press our palms, or one palm at a time, into the earth to start to push up from fetal position using your hands and arms. Nice. Guide yourself just to a comfortable seat. Any comfortable seat. I promise we will move. We'll move on. But take your comfortable seat. And I'm just bringing my hands now to the Dhyani Mudra, or the Dhyana Mudra. And I'm letting the back of my left hand rest in the palm of my right hand. And I'm touching my thumbs lightly together. I'm going to let my hands rest in my lap. So this mudra or energetic seal has a lovely affirmation that I like to remind myself of. And it is, "Thy will be done." So if that resonates with you, maybe mentally connect with it. Thy will be done. And we could be saying, we allow ourselves to surrender to this day and its unfolding, because we are safe at home in our center. We have arrived in the place and the presence of our breath. Take a huge breath in. We have arrived in that space of our sacred peace. ready to open up your eyes in a very gentle, fluttery way at first, bring in the sensory experience slowly. So, you see peace or beauty in some way, you take in, you hear, you smell, you feel, you taste. Begin to release your gesture, your mudra, and come over to your hands or your elbows, your choice, and your knees, making a tabletop back. I'll go sideways so you can see. Inhale, sway that spine as you exhale around the back. And then as you sink into this, inhale, sway, exhale, round. Ask your shoulders how they're doing, because I know mine really like to kind of shrug and release in cat-cow. Inhale, roll them back. Exhale, shrug them toward your ears, and then push down into the earth, rounding, head release. Inhale, sway, let the head look up or forward. Exhale, round. This is such a beautiful journey today. This beautiful day that we get to be a part of with the sunshine and the blue sky. Exhale, we're just being fully present. All the illusion of struggle, just feeling it neutral and dissolved. Because we know our power is in our center. Inhale, center, inhale, exhale, round. One more. And sigh it out as you exhale. Give your head a little nod as you just let your head dangle. So my head's, we're dangling on all fours. Horsey lip out your jaw. I know I got this bulky sweater on. Stay there. You're probably wondering what's happening. Good breathing. Now, finding tabletop back. Walk either your elbows or hands over to the right side. Again, looking toward your feet if you can. So we're letting that left lateral side of the body open. Oh, enjoy it. Maybe you reach that front arm off the earth to increase the stretch. Maybe you paint it around. And then walk it the other way when you're ready. Looking toward your feet. You could be on your hands or your elbows. You could walk your front fingertips out even longer on the floor, or reach the arm into the air. Paint around as you open up the spine. Deep breath. Bringing it to center as you are ready. Good. We're going to allow for ourselves to sink back to child's briefly, and then let ourselves pour out to puppy dog pose, anahatasana. So just let yourself find child first and explore child. How does your child need to be today? Still or moving? Remember, we can always extend our arms out in front and walk the arms side to side. Or we could stack our forearms like a pillow and let our head rest on them. Find your breath around your waist, your low back, your low belly. Huge breath in and sigh it out. Again, another big breath. Taking a couple more deep belly breaths, relaxing and opening your jaw on the exhalation. Let your senses be aware of what they are experiencing. as you are ready, if you would like to, and you do not have to, we're going to start to climb our way out to our puppy dog or extended child. So I'm walking my fingers forward and my chest is going down to the earth. My tailbone coccyx is pointing up. Breathing here. If your chest doesn't go all the way down to the floor, that's okay. You just want to feel opening up in your armpits, your pectoral muscles. If your chest is all the way down, you might turn your head to one side or the other to rest on your cheek. If this is way too much for you, stay back in more of a child's pose and only extend as far as you're comfortable. Opening up our center. Deep breath. Deep, deep breath. This is beautifully beneficial for the immune function as well, as we're stretching and opening the lymph nodes in the armpits. Bring it all back to center. Maybe find your child's pose once more briefly. Big breath in, exhaling it out. Be present in the pause. Start to plant your hands back on the earth. Drawing the knees in to our tabletop position and then curling the toes under, finding our down dog. Walk the dog as you're ready and sigh out your breath. Let your head hang. Horsey lip that jaw. Let your fingers spread wide. Now you can stay in more of this traditional down dog, or you might play with taking a leg up to open up your hip or your hip flexor with a bent or a straight leg or a circling ankle or not. Breathe. If ever you need to release from down dog, you come back to child or a different resting position. Switching the legs when you're ready. If you're playing in three-legged dog, opening up your lovely hips, your lovely center. And then seeing if we can all meet eventually in a ragdoll, forward fold, bent legs, wide legs, bent knees, hang. Spill the upper body over your legs. Dangle. Just let the head be heavy. You could sway or swing your torso if you like. Give your head a lovely nod. Yes, no. Here's where we can invite in horsey lips or lion's breath or big exaggerated sighs. Remember, let anything that is not of your center, of your home of center, your witness, observing self that is with the breath always, let everything that's not of that place shed and melt away. Good. We're going to bend our knees, roll up through the spine. So I'm walking my hands up my quads. My head is going to come up very last to mountain pose because we want to integrate our ability to ground as we're standing. So facing you, let yourself spread the toes. Legs can be as wide as you are comfortable, and soft knee bend here. We don't want to lock our knees. Deep breath in, exhale completely. So for whatever reason, I'm feeling intuitively guided to place my hands on my hips or thighs. If you would like to, you can, or let your arms hang. Sometimes the tactile action, meaning when we make physical contact with our body, is extremely grounding. And that helps us to come back home to our center. Breathe deep. People that have a history of dissociating from overwhelm, from trauma, from anxiety, When we do tactile action, it's extremely beneficial to help those folks be present or come back to the center, to the present space. Deep breaths. Our toes are spread. Good. Just going to let ourselves take one moment just with a little bit of rooting through feet and legs stretching here. So I'm going to invite you to come into a wider leg stance. So you might be turning sideways on your mat, or you could be reorienting your mat if you need to, so you can see me. But I have my legs wide and my toes are pointing outward. I'm going to let myself bend my knees and just start to feel this little straighten and bend. When we bend the knees, the tailbone is dropping straight down to the earth, so I'm not swaying in my low back at all, just taking a few of these, just opening up the groin, the knees press open. Sometimes it can be nice to place your palms on the inner thighs so that as you bend your knees, you're feeling this opening and nothing is rolling in or forward. Exhale, bend if it's comfortable for you to bend. If not, you don't have to. Inhale, straighten. Take one more. Good. Nice. I'm going to lean myself forward a little bit more. My hands are on my thighs. I'm going to invite my left foot to rotate and pivot inward. My right toes are going to pivot outwards. So both my toes now, both the right and the left, are facing the right edge of my mat. All right, I'm going to plant my right elbow on my right quadricep. As I exhale, I'm going to dip my left arm toward the earth. Inhale, I'm going to circle it up and around. Now, if you have a lot of shoulder stuff, keep your elbow bent. Just exhale, the arm drops. Inhale, the elbow's going to reach toward the sky and back. And just feel this here. Now, if you are comfortable with full arm extension, let that happen. Try to relax your neck and jaw here in modified angle. We're just feeling with our senses, feeling the space, the beauty, the present. Good. And now we're going to play with reaching the arm either up to the ceiling, my left arm is up to the ceiling, or over the ear. And those of you that know you have a little bit more hamstring flexibility in your right side, you might take your hand to your quad and start to straighten that right leg and lean over. You might go to your shin bone and hold. You might take a block or go to the floor with your right hand. Okay, you might also say, I'm going to keep my knee bent. That's where I'm happy. So I like to explore the arm over the ear. Trikonasana, breathing deep here. Triangle pose. Relax your jaw. And I'm also thinking of grounding down through my back foot's pinky toe edge. One more breath. How about one more big one? And then exhale, release. As you release, I'm bending my right leg again and climbing up my quad. I do want to make one note. In any form of triangle pose, you can always have your hand on the hip crease in some way, or the thigh, and you can just be very minimal. You don't have to tip way over. So this could be your triangle pose where you're more vertical. So just know, honor your body, coming back to center. Inhale, your arms open, press the walls away. As you exhale, we're going to bend our knees if you like, and then hug the self or cross the arms over the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Enjoy that. Let your center come to the surface and let it take in all the beauty of today as you open up your wings. Exhale. As you inhale, emotionally available to yourself, allowing yourself to feel what it is you're feeling, to think what it is you're thinking, and knowing that we are able to bring all of that to our center to neutralize the overwhelm whenever we need to. One more breath. As you center yourself, knees are straightening a bit. Shrug your shoulders back a few times, circling. Relax your jaw. Horsey lip it out. Head can take any movements at once. Good, and now I'm gonna relax those shoulders. Pivoting my right foot in. Left toes open or out, so both my feet are angled to the left edge of my mat now. I'm going to bend my left knee, take my elbow on over to it, left elbow to left quadricep like a shelf. Inhale, reaching my arm down toward the earth, and then all the way up. Elbow can be bent. Exhale as I dip the arm down. Inhale as it comes up, and again, you might be able to unfurl your arm and do that big kind of backstroke action, exhaling, dipping to the earth. Inhale all the way up. Feel the space, and let the space radiate out from your center. Beauty below us, beauty above us, beauty before us, beauty behind us, beauty all around us and within us. As we sit at home in our center, relax your jaw. Smile. If you would like to, we'll unfurl that arm, reaching it toward the ceiling or over the ear. And we can deepen our Trikonasana triangle pose. So you might lengthen yourself back up first and find a hand position that suits you higher in your leg. I'm going to straighten my left leg and then tip over my left side, arm wherever's comfortable. So the supporting arm, the left hand, it can be reaching to the quad, the shin bone, a block, the floor, wherever you're okay going. Top arm reaching up or over the ear as you anchor down through the pinky toe edge of your back foot. And also, remember, you can keep the front leg, the left leg bent if you want the whole time, using that little quad shelf for your elbow. Breathe into the side of your body. Relax your jaw, your shoulder. Relax your tongue. Feel the strong legs beneath you. Take in that bird song. When you're ready, melt the arm. Climb up your quadricep. Pivot back to center. Interlace your hands. Inhale, open up your heart. Exhale, sigh. You can stay here, just either holding the hands right behind your sacrum, or if you'd like to, turning your feet more parallel. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, you might choose to undulate, bending your knees, come forward to Yoga Mudra. Inhale, roll up. As you inhale, activate your pelvic floor, contract it. Exhale. Inhale, pelvic floor contracts as we roll up. You don't have to keep your hands interlaced if you want to put them on your thighs. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, contract. Or you can contract the pelvic floor the whole time. Pelvic floor contraction. Last time. Rolling it on up. Last standing posture here. Wide legs, soft knees. My toes are angled forward. Again, they're not turned out too much right now. I'm going to take my hands again up on my quads. Letting myself hinge forward a little bit. My knees are bent. I'm going to shift my weights from one leg to the other. So as I do so, and I lean forward, I'm going to start to feel the inner groin opening up on one side and then the other. So I'm going to go sideways. You can see how far I'm pitched forward. And you do this wherever you're comfortable. You might be way more vertical, and that's perfect. You might be way forward, but we want to feel something inner groin, inside of the hip. We were working around all those spaces and nooks and crannies today. Deep breath here. If it feels good to stay at one side, please let yourself do so. And then one little variation. Next time you bend your right knee, you might be able to tent your left fingertips on the earth and then reach your right arm forward or out or up to the ceiling. And so I have my right knee bent, my left leg is extended. I feel the stretch in the inner left groin, inner thigh. My left fingertips are tented on the earth. You might be able to put your left palm all the way down and twist. Breathe, relax. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. And then melt it toward the earth, both knees bent. I'm walking my hands to the left side as I bend my left knee and press my right hip down a bit, right groin stretch. Now I'm going to tent my right fingertips on the earth, reaching my left arm out to the front diagonal, or to the side, or up to the ceiling. If you get it to the ceiling, you might put your right palm all the way down on the floor or a block. Breathing, so now my left knee is bent. I'm feeling the stretch in the inside of my right groin. Breathe. Oh, nice deep breath. You can look at the earth, the wall, or the ceiling. And then center yourself, melt it toward the earth. Draw and gather your feet in a bit toward the center. Option for your variation of a squat, starting with spinal traction. So way up high, knees bent, my feet are at least shoulder width apart. I got my mitten hands again. My thumbs are the inner part of my thigh. 4 fingers wrapping to the outside. I'm going to sit back a little bit, just a touch, and just kind of pulling down, lengthening my femur, my thigh bone out of the hip socket. Dragging down those legs, and then you choose now. Do you want your squat to be here? Do you want your elbows on your quads? Do you want to squat like a frog? What feels good in your body? If you squat like a frog, your heels can be up or down, your choice. If you're a frog squatter, you might find prayer hands and push your knees open with your elbows. You're making this work for you. Take a few deep breaths. Once we're back to that spinal activation, letting the spine lengthen and stretch. Space through our spine, our center conduit for energy to ground us, to rise through our crown, to help keep our thoughts clear, to help free us from emotional tension or stress that might gather through the different energy centers of our body. Good, and then play with letting yourself climb your way back towards your hands and knees from your squat. So I'm coming to down dog for a sec. In down dog, you might swivel your knees one way or the other in our twisted dog, or you might walk the dog. And then we're going to find our way eventually to hands and knees and slide on out to Sphinx pose. Elbows, forearms coming down, sliding my legs back, pubic bone plugging into the earth. I start really low with my head and my torso. Pubic bone presses and glutes activate. And I think about lengthening my torso forward before I grow upward. So again, we just created traction in the lumbar spine when we lengthen forward as the pubic bone presses down. Softening, relaxing shoulders, neck, face, jaw. Deep breath. Inhale, fill your whole waist with breath, fill your low back, low belly, and soften your jaw as you exhale. One or two more breaths here. Melting it down when you're ready, finding your crocodile pose. So forehead stack, forearm stack, rest your forehead there. Nice deep breath. Feel the spine rise as you inhale. Feel the spine sink as you exhale. Feel the softness and openness of the body. Feel your heartbeat on the earth. If you like, bend your knees, let your feet move around freely, rocking your sacrum free of any other tension. Another thing that can feel nice is opening up our knees wide and letting our feet drop toward one another, making a little frog or diamond shape of the legs. What feels good to you? Big breath in and out, finding your pause. Sigh. And start to shift your body only if you would like to prepare for Shavasana. You could stay on your belly the whole time. You could go rest on your side. You could find a restorative posture. If you go onto your back though, rock out any other tension or tightness around your back. Honor if your hips need any more opening with like a little figure 4 triangle leg stretch of the ankle over the thigh, or happy baby. Any twists. Or if you're happy where you are, just stay where you are. So again, the intention of our practice to cultivate and open up the sense of our center, where we dwell in peace, where we dwell in the connection of our breath and spaciousness between thought and action, or emotion and reaction. The center is the spacious pause. And let's enjoy this luxurious sense. Let your ears take in the sweet sounds they hear as you bring your center to the surface and you experience this present moment. Let your nose experience the present through smell, through breath. Let your mouth experience the present through taste, through relaxing the tongue and the jaw, through swallowing. Let your ears, let your eyes gaze inward to the spaciousness within. And let the organ of the skin feel the air and feel the connection to the earth. to deepen your breath. Swallow. Feel your body resting in the space that you're in. And as you're ready, bring movement back to the fingers and the toes gently. And then bringing movement back or stretching back to the body when it feels ready to wake up. Movement like you're stretching to wake yourself in the morning. And as you take your little wake up time, you might stay resting. That's okay. You might also choose to start to come up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe rolling to one side to rest in the fetal position for a little while before you come up. As you come to your center, to your center space, even if you're still lying down, that's okay. But maybe you come to a comfortable seat where again we're connecting with the home space of our center. Can you bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly, or the one palm pressing into your heart and stacking the other on top, spreading your fingers like wings over your chest. And wherever you arrive with this connection to self, just bow the head just slightly. Feel the beautiful breath. Maybe that inner glow rises to the lips and we feel the corners of the mouth turn upward in that gentle, unforced smile. Today is a beautiful day to be alive and to be present in the pause of our center. And through our practice today, we cultivated not only opening up the spaciousness of our center, but letting the center rise to the surface to be linked and married to our senses, so that we take in all the textures of this life, letting our ears be open, our eyes be open, taste and smell and touch all be open. Breathing into all of it. The one who is at play everywhere says, there's a space in the heart, in the center, where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here at the center. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating. Give yourself to it with total abandon, for quiet ecstasy is here, and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. You who are the embodiment of blessing, once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again. Answer that call and be saturated with knowing, I belong here. I am home in my center. Big breath in, cleansing exhalation. Inhale as you reach your arms up into the beauty of this day. Exhale, melting the arms again through the texture of this experience, sighing, engulfed in the beauty of your life, finding prayer hands at your heart center, bowing to and honoring yourself for this beautiful, authentic grounding that you created, this self-care. With gratitude in our hearts, being home in our center, may we see beauty before us and beauty behind us, beauty above us and beauty below us. May we practice speaking, thinking, and performing acts of beauty, and may we awaken to the beauty all around us and within us. For in beauty it was started, and in beauty it is finished. In beauty it is finished. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your trust and your continued support. Enjoy your centeredness, and namaste. Mwah. Have a beautiful day, everybody.